Hello YouTube buds, George here. Today I'm going to speak about my latest completed artwork, Woman Sunbathing on the Beach. We should begin by looking at the photograph, the original reference photo. I'll go to my computer for that. Let's take a peek and say hello to the fish. Fish, fish. There he is coming. There he is, there he is. Alright, so you got to see the fish. Bonus. In terms of realism as a subject, keeping with that traditional theme of showing someone doing an activity, and if you had to apply a verb to what she's doing besides sitting, I figured we should just call it sunbathing. So, woman sunbathing on the beach, rather than a more passive verb, woman sitting on the beach. In the photograph, you'll notice her skin is, if I were to use that many reds as a skin tone, she would appear just sunburnt. So I had to decide which colors I would keep and which I would change. And same for changing the background slightly, though it is rather plain, and I like that. You don't want to distract from the main subject too much. There are some boats in the water. That's a very common sight, sitting on either the bay or an ocean. So I did put a boat that I found in a different photograph, and I used that shape of the larger boat. I made a smaller version over here, which you'll see in a moment. So this orangey red, I used more of a brownish orange color. Let's take a look. You can see it's a lot less red here. Let's take a peek at some pencils. Cinnamon red is cinnamon, I should say, is a very light red that can be used as is for skin color. I did use that a little bit, maybe on the edges here, but really not much. I just had to go with this brownish orange color called Burnt Ochre. So Burnt Ochre was this main skin tone used throughout. As it got closer to the shadow areas, it was intensified a bit more, and a little bit of Venetian red added on top of it in the darkest shadow areas of the skin. I saw some purple in the shadow, the main shadow, and I did use a purplish color mainly, and then some black on top of that in spaces for the sand that was in her shadow. And I thought, well, that's just perfect, because for a white bikini, which I turned, she had white on some of it, but I didn't leave any of the patterned stuff on here, kept it white. So of the colors for white that were in mid or deeper shadow like here, you can see I used purple here, and purple around the butt area, the side, and then light blue where it was a semi-shadow in the sunlight and not the brightest white. Another skin color I used for skin tone was Caran Luminance, 2 colors. 10% Brown Ochre is the name of the color. That is used here on the sides. We're like a mid-tone shading color. And then the lightest color is actually not white. The lightest is a near white, but an off-white Caran pencil. Pink white, it's called. Normally you can't use pink for the same reason I discussed red as a skin tone. It would just look sunburnt, and the skin, you don't want that look, because I would then have to rename this woman Sunburning on the beach, and I didn't want that as the title. The pink white was a much better selection for an off-white than the other choices I had. Some perspective rules. The waves are very subtle. No really waves on this. It's just little ripple type waves through the use of line. Because this land is further away, it needs to be a lighter green versus a dark green. Dark green would indicate it was much closer. Same goes for the sand. The little piles of sand get more detailed with lines and dots. I noticed there was a series of lines and dots, almost like Morse code, I suppose, creating the grain of sand, and then on the beach further away you could not see them as well. And that tells the eye that you are closer to this sand, closer to you. Otherwise, it just wouldn't look right. The hair, I pretty much kept the same for color, but I did not keep as many wispy hairs flying about because she had quite a few. Oh, it's less wavy too. It's not that I couldn't have done it, but she had wavy hair, very wavy beginning here, and it would go like this. And I kept it much straighter with some more subtle waves in it. So there's a few areas in which I could go off the reference there. I wanted a more solid look of well-combed hair that's not blowing all over the place. So that was a change. I was not as concerned in keeping, well, in fact, I did change the shadows on her face. They were too pronounced in some areas, and because I didn't need to match her to be a specific person, I didn't mind going off her face a bit, and I purposely made her nose a little bit different. The chin not as kind of pointy looking, but it still has a well-defined chin on her. But it's just, she looks a little bit different. If I was drawing her as a portrait, as a commission, I would have had to be more exacting in making her look exactly like that person. But I liked having the freedom to change a few features around there. The shadows were quite interesting in the legs, especially. I noticed, boy, those knees are creating lots of interesting lines and shadows. The ship you can see here, or the boat I should say, catamaran style, with two large sails and shadow casting onto the water from the sails. So with some of the Thanksgiving sales in that period of time, I still caught a couple of those late, and I was able to get some discounts on some frames and some other things. I still need to get a couple pencils that have gone missing, actually. I can't find them for the life of me, but I'll eventually replace those. I have to order those from a different website, and kind of wait till I need some other things where I can like get the discount, like free shipping if you order a certain amount of dollar value worth. And I'm going to wait on the two pencils, and that'll be fine. And that'll be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the little art chat, and please press like if you liked either the art or my discussion of it, and leave me your comments or questions, and I will get back to you in the comments. And you enjoy the rest of your day.